Hello, and welcome back to Command Battle Win. My fan will be particularly pleased to know that I am back, the Flying Harlequin, who I've not been stalking or anything to try and find out any details about him because I don't know his name. So we shall call him Dave, just to give him a name. So hi, Dave. Guys, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Hello,
Evening.
we're back with another episode 5, I think, isn't it?
It
Wow,
could
yeah.
be, yeah.
Could be, yeah. Let me just double check. I'm sure it's episode 5. Yeah, episode 5 of Waffle and Waaagh. We've got some lovely hot topics for us all to discuss today, haven't we? And we've not jumped on last minute ill prepared for anything. Let's move the conversation on. Chris, would you like? Is there anything you would like to discuss with us, with everybody?
What we do, like talking about what we've been up to Warhammer wise this week, or
Yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, I've been we're planning a trip to the old motherland, aren't we, in a couple of weeks' time,
Yeah, 6th of
um,
March.
6th of March. So we've got one of those fancy sexy tables booked.
Oh yes.
So I am frantically trying to get my Necrons in order because you've given me the very tall order of 2,000 points, which is basically my entire army. So I am currently been working on trying to pull together enough to be able to match you guys because it's 2 versus 1 when we
Yeah,
play.
I'm looking forward to this. To be fair,
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to just as much as Warren though.
Yeah.
The Bugman breakfast.
Oh yeah,
The brunches.
yeah.
Yeah. Although Joe, you got burnt by actually having the breakfast, didn't you? You were
I
saying
did.
the all day brunch is better than the actual breakfast. So if anyone goes, that's our recommendation: all day brunch. Oh, and you can get the bread as toast. I feel like I've gone too food orientated. Let's pull this back to war. So,
Welcome to Waffle
yes,
and Waaagh, where we talk about food and Warhammer.
and then maybe a bit of Warhammer at the end. Yeah, so my Crypto Thrills, which came in the Indomitus box set, made them up, sprayed them about. When did the Indomitus box set come out? 2-3 years ago,
At least 2 years ago,
something
yeah.
like that.
3, yeah.
And they've literally just stayed on the shelf, never painted, because Joe kept saying, "Hey, look at those! They could be awesome," and I'm going, "Nah, they're crap. Nah, they look rubbish."
I think you did the same with
No,
the flayed flesh ones as well, didn't you? The
I've done it
flayed
with pretty
ones.
much everything. It's my process. It's my process. So yeah, so I've now rediscovered that actually they're pretty awesome, and they could be the answer to why my HQ keeps dying because they are essentially the bodyguards for the HQ. So they've been painted up, and that is what's new with me.
Very
Next,
good. So when are you getting the Silent King?
oh, that's a little ways off.
I thought you were going to say, nah, I've looked at his profile. It's crap.
Oh, damn it! That was a perfect opportunity.
No, but in all seriousness, when are you getting the Silent King?
Oh,
And are
I
you going to
don't
get
know.
the Silent King?
Well, without wanting to bring up last week's, the week before's topic about costs, but yeah, it's a case of cost and what as we were talking about earlier before we started the thing, where it's for me, it's a case of the amount of money I'm going to spend getting the model, and then how often am I actually going to be able to bring it to battles because of the points that we tend to play.
Yeah.
So normally we play about 500 points, don't we? At the moment, we like to play more, but time wise, we haven't really got the time to play the bigger point games.
Yeah.
So if I was to invest in a Silent King for, I mean, how much is it? It's quite expensive, isn't it? Realistically, how often am I going to bring him onto the battlefield? So I have to really consider that. So it'll be a little ways off.
The other question is, that the Silent King, is he like you can use him in any Necron dynasty, or does he belong to a specific one?
I think he brings his own. Yeah, he's got his own dynasty, and then I think you can bring him as a detachment on his own if you need to.
Because like with Orcs and you've got Gazskull, I think he can be in any army, but he is specific to the Goths.
Yeah, so I think he's Slazarian or something like that. I think.
Have you seen his data sheet? He has got
Uh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 abilities.
so shit.
He's rubbish. What a load of crap.
6 months later, fast forward. Hey guys, have you noticed the Silent King's not bad?
He's a supreme commander.
Well, I should hope so. Being the Silent King.
So you could 1v1 him with Gilliman.
His points are 400, according to this. I don't know how much Gilliman is. Can't remember.
Probably about 3 something.
I think he's about 3 something, yeah.
I think realistically, if I'm going to be bringing like a Primarch, I think the Chaos Primarch is more on the cards because
Abaddon,
money
yeah.
wise, it's about 35 to 40 pound, I think,
Yeah.
depending if we get it from Games Workshop or local gaming store.
Have they released a
Yeah.
data sheet for Abaddon yet? Or have they just released the model?
Abaddon's the old one that came out when Gilliman did.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it's an
sorry.
older one. That's
The one
why
with the
it's a
massive
bit
claw
cheaper
hand.
because my local gaming store is very kind. Basically, when the prices go up, he doesn't seem to. If he's already bought them and they're in stock, he doesn't put those prices up.
Yeah. Do you remember when we went to Games Workshop? Sorry. Do you remember when we went to Warhammer World the last time that we went and they got the Tyranid data sheets, the data cards, and one of them was the old price and one of them was the new
Yeah.
price. How bad's that? And they were the same
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, when comparing. And the worst part was you could see the significant price difference.
Yeah. Well, I put them next to each other. I didn't buy them because I don't think I'd started my Tyranid army at that point. I wasn't that bothered by them. Hmm.
Ridiculous.
Interesting.
So yeah, Azza, anything new going on Warhammer wise for you this week?
Week, not particularly. Been a bit busy with work, but I'm taking this opportunity while I'm sitting down having a Warhammer chinwag to get dry brushing on my Octarius terrain, getting this orc terrain
Nice.
looking nice and rusty.
The terrain. Have we mentioned this before? That when we actually played last together, you got really excited because you realised that they all formed together into a big box, into a big
Oh
building.
my god, it made me want to buy another one so I could just have 2 forts.
Well,
Do you know the best part was I actually saw his face and it was like he had this little look of like confused but concentrating confused. Then he just slid them together. And then his face lit up like a child at Christmas. That's just realised there's an extra present that was tucked behind the tree. And he's like, "Oh my god, they fit together!"
That
well,
was a good day.
we're
That
going
was
to
a good day.
we're going to Warhammer World. You could buy them again, maybe.
We do like to get a little souvenir, don't we? Every time we
Yeah.
go, we like to get some models or something that we can sort of say, "I got this."
Well, I like how
Got
we
this
look past the fact that they're really expensive and they're full price there. We look past that.
There's just something about being at Warhammer World that makes me think, well, I got it from Warhammer World. It makes it a bit special.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah. Also, I know this is a slight change of topic, but I'm just doing some edge highlighting, and it is got to be the best edge highlighting I've ever done in my life.
Mm.
Good.
I'm going to send you guys a photo. Get your phones out.
All right, my phone is here ready. I am
Right.
eagerly awaiting this message. Still not arrived yet.
Okay, that's blurry. 1 minute.
Okay.
Grandma's taking a photo.
Well,
Yeah, while we wait, I'll just say that I'm currently dry brushing the oil pump bit, which has got the big orc skull on it. It looks great.
I like that. I like that. It reminds me of a game called Warzone 2021 or 2001 or something like that. It was an old game. It's on Steam now. It's free actually, free to play. But they had oil derricks that you could capture and stuff. I like it.
That sounds good. But Chris, why?
It's-
I mean, that looks great, but why aren't you painting Necrons?
Yeah, well, that is that
busted.
dude. That looks pretty epic. Actually, you've done really well. But yeah, again, why are you not painting Necrons?
Well, because I do enjoy like if I'm just painting for pleasure, then I actually like the Chaos and Death Guard to paint more.
Wait, you've not.
So
Hang on, you're not going to turn up to Warhammer World with 2,000 points of fucking chaos, are you?
imagine No, I'm not going to be doing that. That would be awesome, but no. Do you want me to send you a picture of the crypto throws that I've painted today?
Yeah, we must.
Will that make you guys feel better?
You've already.
Yeah,
I
I
think you
feel
already
this
sent
is
me something.
this is excellent podcast material. I was just looking at photos of what Chris is painting.
Well, whilst Chris
Well, I
is
mean, you could,
taking the
they
photo,
say that a picture's worth 1,000 words, and I'm willing to spend those 1,000 words if you want.
I haven't been painting anything apart from my Taran effects.
That's
I
pretty cool in
suppose
itself.
this would be a good opportunity for me to share these to Instagram and then be all like, guys, if you're listening along, the pictures are on Instagram.
Oh, those guys! It's like someone's put scythes on a barrel.
Yeah, like I always think they've got like just a really dirty fingernail. That's how I imagine it. Yeah, so I gave them a little gold trim.
Yeah, looks better. I like that.
Yeah, because I thought make them look a little like they're the royal bodyguards almost.
Yeah, because they're meant to be quite arrogant, aren't they, and pompous.
Oh, I mean,
I think.
just like me.
I think they look like eyes. Are they called eyes? You know those animals, the little mammals that have got that really long pointy finger. They've got really big eyes.
A bit like sloths.
Sloths have got long claws, and the eyes have just got one really. They've got normal like fingers like us, but one of them is really really long, and they tap and they eat ants and stuff. They're really creepy.
Oh yeah, I know the ones.
They've got big golden
And if-
eyes.
Yeah.
And if you accidentally leave your foot outside the duvet at night,
Yeah,
they sneak
yeah.
up and they hook up and grab your foot.
Yeah.
They tickle your foot. Like... yeah, I haven't been painting anything. Really. I did a little bit of shadow, recess shading on my Terran effects, and that's it really. That's it. I've just literally just put in some voluptuous pink into part of the arms, but yeah. Apart from
Very
that,
good.
not painting nothing. There's nothing.
Although you built your list for Warhammer World, haven't you?
Yes, I've built my list, and it's completely different to last week's podcast list. Like I listened back to the podcast, looked through the list. I was like, "Nah, this isn't going to cut it. This is not going to cut it at all. I need to do something better."
Oh,
I don't know whether to share it. I'm you're gonna find out anyway.
well, you know what I'm bringing because my entire Necron collection is basically 2,000 points. So I think if I can bring a few more points, then I'll let you know. So you can bring extra if you and have that option if you want.
Oh, definitely.
You're
Oh.
desperate for more warriors, Chris. I've got 10 if you want to borrow them.
Oh, actually, yeah, I might do that.
Why? Why would you do that?
They're not allowed to
Because-
shoot me.
Oh, okay. What?
Fair enough. I'm willing to strike a deal.
Well, okay. Whilst my battle scribe is updating, so I logged on to Spiky Bits earlier on, and there's some 10th edition simplified rule changes apparently. So you're going to see generic WLT, warlord traits and relics. So I think the idea is it's going to be generic across the board. Everybody's going to have these warlord traits. Everybody's going to have access to these relics. Everybody's going to have access to these generic stratagems alongside your normal command reroll and fallback. And it says characters fight on death, or specs, combat revival with a medic keyword.
Okay, so from what I gathered once upon a time was that every single army had the same abilities, but they had different words for it.
I think they're just going full circle.
Okay, so they all have the same abilities and the same words.
Yeah. Just for your stratagem. But then I think you're going to have specific ones for your specific armies as well, but not as many as we had before. I mean, I don't know about you, but I find it sometimes really overwhelming when I've got like 1 million cards. I have to sort through them all whilst we're playing. But then again, it's nice to have the choice. But I think they should just make the wordings a lot more simple. That's all. Just simplify it.
Agreed. One thing I found really frustrating with like the data cards, and you obviously don't need data cards, but I think they're quite fun. But for Dark Angels, I can't use 2/3 of them because they're divided up between Deathwing, Ravenwing, and the other and Greenwing. And then with the orcs, I can't use about half of them because half of them are for the other orc factions.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I don't know how that's going to work going forward, but I guess it means I'll get to sell us some more data cards.
True. I mean, but with my the stratagem cards, because they're the newest out of our armies, aren't they, to come out? There's only, and with the codex, there's only not that much difference. So the army's got access to the majority of them, but then I think there's 5 in total that have got 1 extra like stratagem compared to, I don't know. I find it really confusing with the Ultramarines having those stratagems, and then also having the Space Marine stratagems. It's
Yes, absolutely.
like 60 bloody cards or something I have to shuffle through.
It doesn't help that your stratagem and data cards are from basically 8th edition still.
Yeah. Yep. Oh well. Games Workshop know what they're doing, apparently. But
Well, the marketing department definitely does.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. So turret rules are generic. Nearly every vehicle will at least have 1 turret. So they'll all have 1 turret. Objective secured is gone. Objectives controlled based on the number of starting wounds, with troops counting as 2 times. Spells and prayer cuts. That's for Age of Sigmar, must be. Or no, psychic, I suppose. Spells and prayers cut. Maximum of 3 discipline, but is meaningful. Game feels more streamlined but more generic. Lots of flavour has been cut out and overly simplified. I think these are coming from playtesters.
Yeah.
And playtest material only included Marines, Tyranids, and an in-depth box. So they may have just had a stripped back version of what's actually going to happen. Perhaps.
And that kind of does confirm that it's Marines versus Tyranids in the starter set.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, objective secured gone. That's interesting. Because I'd never really bothered with it in 9th.
I think that's fair. To be honest, because otherwise, I mean, with the objective secured, all the troops had it anyway. So if you're up against another troop, it was pretty much pointless.
Yeah.
I thought that was a mechanism to try and encourage people not to bring all elite and all heavy units, because otherwise there's not that much point in bringing the troops. But
Possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Possibly. See what they do.
Apparently they're going to go back to having like the indexes. I don't know, that's 8th, at the beginning of 8th.
But they had the indexes in 8th because they didn't have the codexes. Is that right?
Possibly. But there's different, like, there's a picture of it. It's like Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Marines, Space Wolves, Grey Knights, Data Watch, Legion of the Damned. And then there's like Imperium 1 and 2, Xenos 1 and 2, and then Xenos. And then they released all the codex, didn't they, afterwards? Like,
Yeah,
was that
so
right?
it's like a sticking plaster until all the codexes are out, I think.
Yeah, it's like they released them at the wrong, like the edition at the wrong time. Obviously, it's intentional. But why not just wait? Release the rules and the codexes, and then release your add-ons afterwards. Oh, we've discussed this before.
We have. It's not
It's
ideal.
a very sore subject.
Moving on then. I'm really tempted by this Brutalis Dreadnought, but there's a part of me that thinks for a melee-based Dreadnought, it's got an awful lot of range stuff.
Some of it is like melters and flamers.
So you've got you've got 2 multi-melters embedded in the chest, 2, I don't know what cannons they are on its head, and then you've got the claws, which have got a strike and a sweep ability. Which
does it say whether or not the multi-motor can be fired in? If you're in combat.
They've not put that on the data sheet yet, but I don't think can multi-melters be fired in close combat.
Well, I'm just thinking if they were put into the chest, that feels very much like a melee, like you're up close and personal, and then just
grab and burn.
Well, the current rules are that vehicles can fire their heavy weapons whilst in combat.
Oh gosh, do you know, I've completely forgotten about that. We've not played that.
No, we haven't, and that could be horrendous if you're fighting a dreadnought.
Well, I'll have to write that down for when we're playing at Warhammer World.
Or
Mm.
or don't.
And then the other variant is the 2 cannons, then the 246 heavy bolter pistols, the 2 in the chest, and then the four in both arms, basically 2 in each arms. Just seems, yeah. I mean the pistols, I suppose, because they'll be heavy pistols, won't they? And you can fire them in close. But then, as you literally just said, it doesn't matter. You can fire all of them in close combat. It looks cool. It does look cool.
It does. So maybe if you 3D printed some extra bits to go on the claws to make them look meaner.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then the box art's got 2 cannons on the top. And then
So if you're tempted to get this dreadnought, are you tempted to get the set that it comes in?
I am, but I'd rather just buy it individually and spread the cost.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't mind the t-shirt firing people.
Because you know they're going to have good rules because they're new models.
Well, I've seen the new model, the rules for them, and they're pretty interesting.
I can't get over that one that looks like he's holding Johnny Five's face.
I know. Johnny 5. Yeah. I think the new set comes with at least 10, and then it's got like 5 heavy bolters as well. A heavy intercessor, sorry, in the back. And then a lieutenant that you can change. That they seem to be really happy about the fact that they're releasing this new lieutenant that comes with like a variety of build options. Like nobody cares about the bloody lieutenants.
It would have been interesting a while ago. It's just they've released so many lieutenants that there's no.
It would have been
If you want
interesting,
variety, it's already there.
but it would have been really, really interesting if it was in Gravis armor. Like that would be interesting. I'd be interested in buying the set.
I don't think there is one, is there?
No, there's
Lieutenant
not.
Gravis.
No,
That's mad.
doesn't make any sense. But 10th edition round the corner.
You're a Phobos lieutenant.
Yeah, there's the Phobos. I've got them. The Phobos. They're in relic armor and in Phobos armor and in Reaver armor.
That's right. Yeah.
The 2 Phobos. Yeah, there's a Phobos captain, and then there's a normal captain, and there's like a million Gravis captains, isn't there?
Did you hear they're planning on doing away with Sergeant Telios or whatever his name is? Who you're playing as the Phobos captain?
As in killing him off.
Yeah, apparently.
But
I can't remember where I got that from.
I can't remember the lore completely, but I think he's the captain of this. Currently, the captain of the second. Yeah, he's this captain of the second in command, but temporarily because the main guy disappeared into the void. I think I'm gonna have to look at that now. Ultra.
A recurring theme in Warhammer, isn't it? He just went off to the warp. We won't do any models just yet. He might come back.
He might come back. Which website is it? There's so much words to get through, unfortunately. Yeah, so the main guy from the second, he disappeared off into the warp. I'm sure I've read it before, and then the other guy that you just said, as an Ultramarine player, I can't remember any of the names, but he steps in, and yeah, and it was his.
Don't worry, I'll get a promotion.
Yeah, I'll do this because I think he was a lieutenant before, and he then stepped up.
Bloody glory hog.
Oh,
Never trust Captain Moo Moo, that's what I say.
God, good old Captain Moo Moo.
For anyone curious about that listening, Captain Moo Moo is called that because Joe painted a nice black and white camo cloak that looked strikingly like a cow.
Yep. And yep, I liked him.
Yeah, he's good.
Good old
It wasn't an
Captain.
insult to call him Captain Moo Moo, I didn't think.
Captain Moo Moo. I can't find it. There's too much lore here.
Okay. So, what it is, Dreadnought looks cool. New rules sound interesting, but could be a bit boring, maybe. I don't know.
Nothing particularly new. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what else they bring along for 10th edition. I'm wondering if we'll get like... I'm wondering if they'll introduce more models than 9th edition. Like, here you go, here's 9th edition. You're a Death Guard player. Well, we've got something for you. One model. And a new codex. Tyranids, one model.
I'd like to see more. Definitely want to see more Death Guard models coming in. I feel like the selection, like the choice for Death Guard, is very small and limited.
Yeah. The problem with Death Guard is they're all fantastic, but they're very uniquely fantastic. So you can't really have the same ones twice because you can really tell that they're the same.
Yeah.
Aren't they? The majority of it is push fit models as well, so you can't even put them in different poses.
No, they're all There's very much just because that's what I ended up getting the Space Marine Hero series Death Guard because they gave a bit of difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it would be nice to see, even if if like you say, they release some different poses for the Plague Marines, because when you bring in a lot of Plague Marines or similar with the Poxes and Pox Walkers and stuff, you end up having the same four or five models over and over.
Yeah.
So it would be good to get some sort of, just a bit more of an option with them. I mean, they've not got an awful lot of choice.
No, I've managed to find out who is. So it was Katios Sigarius who went mad and then disappeared into the warp, and then Archiran or whatever his name was originally the serving officer underneath that guy in the second company, and then during the warp, hang on, what is it? Sicarius was lost in the warp early in the Indomitus Crusade, and this guy basically stepped up with his Phobos armor. I knew I read it somewhere. I wasn't going mad.
I'm going to put out an insult.
I can't
the
pronounce
insult
any
is
of the
going to be
names.
to the Black Library.
I like that you've pre-warned us on this, Chris. That's good.
Yeah, I feel I should, because sometimes I like to give my opinions out and then realise there's some snowflakes around. Basically, I think that the authors of the Black Library is Joey from Friends, because it feels like when they write a book, they just get a thesaurus out, they just look at every word and just try and find the longest, most complex, random word to replace it. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to find when I'm reading a Black Library book, it's really hard to follow. I have to listen to it as an audiobook because it's just so wordy and unnecessarily wordy. I don't know if anyone else feels the same.
I have
be honest
not.
with you, Chris. I've never ever read one.
I've never
I know
read
what you
one.
mean because I've listened to a fair few audiobooks and they do just seem to go with the long words just for the sake of it. But
Yeah.
Maybe they should.
Being difficult.
Maybe they should release a 40k lore books that are aimed at lower reading ages.
I think it's because they want it to look cool, so they'd be in the young adult section of the library.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I also think that for naming their characters, they get a word, a random word, and then they just run it through what's it called, an anagram algorithm. Yeah, and then they just pick the stupidest one that's there. That'll do. Sicarius, that sounds funny. And then you completely open to interpretation to how you pronounce the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ultramarine specifically, I think they tried to have old-fashioned Latin Roman names.
Probably.
So that's my insult to the authors of the Black Library. Sorry if any of you are listening. Does enough with that
Black
popular.
Library authors hanging on our every word.
Oh, hang on. Somebody has just unsubscribed to us. Rage quit.
That better not be Dave. Damn it! I kept the fun for as long as I could.
The next Black Library book's known as The Twats. That
Yeah, death of the twats.
Oh dear.
The death of the commanding battles and winning.
Yeah.
Rules and revelations of command
They were
battles.
command battle win, but they were command battle lost.
Oh dear. Right, we've hit 30 minutes, and I've run out of stuff to say. In terms of stuff that I've looked at
In public, yes, of course.
Yeah,
in public,
stuff.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although there is a lot of whispers from the warp from Valrak talking about the El Leon returning.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know
Alien.
what more he can say. He's just saying he's coming.
It's coming. It's being announced next month. I think he thinks.
Oh, nice.
And then you've got or next month or next week. It might be next week because Warhammer the weekend thing is free for people to attend, isn't it? On the 4th and 5th of March, it's Warhammer weekend, and they're announcing models there. They've said.
Oh, and then we're going on the 6th.
And we're going on the 6th, yeah. So there may be, I think he said, I listened to it this morning while I was doing the kitchen, doing the dishwasher, and I'm sure he said that they're either announcing new models there or there will be new models there, as in ones we've not seen yet. So, could be interesting for when we go.
Yeah, that'd be great. Some free
Exciting.
samples, maybe.
And we will be available for autographs if you can find us.
Yes, definitely. We'll be the 3 guys crying in the corner.
Yeah, they all having different strops at different times. That it's not going the way they wanted it to go.
If you see 3 guys in the corner getting each other's autographs, pretending that they don't know each other, that's probably us.
That's us.
Oh my God, that's exactly what we'd be doing.
Maybe we should do that as a short. Oh my God, are you the guys from Command Battle Win? Yeah. Can you sign it?
Yeah, that's a mirror.
Dudes and dudettes of the 40k universe. Thanks for joining.
Yep. Tell your mums.
Yeah.
Don't forget that this is not just on YouTube, it's on Spotify. So if you do use Spotify, you can find us at Command Battle Win. Just search, you'll see it's the same logos, and you can either listen to them on YouTube or you can listen to them with your phone switched off whilst walking. You could do that with YouTube, whatever it's called.
Or you could do it on both.
Or do it on both.
Up for us.
Yeah. Just keep listening to it over and over again. So yeah, like, subscribe, leave some comments. Let us know if you've heard anything interesting that we've not discussed, because you probably have, as we've been a little bit lackadaisy with 40k this week.
And don't forget to move the troops.
Move the troops. Like, subscribe, tell your mums. Find us on Instagram. Find us on Spotify. Find us everywhere.
Can't get rid of this.
Oh, also, we might be going to see Winters. What? Bye.